Hi everyone, Lex Gray here. Welcome back to episode 6 of the Lex Gray Show. It finally came in. I finally got the TNT Adventures Japan, which is based on the Deluxe Tunnels and Trolls edition. It has a mini rules and it has a little comic with a adventure at the end. We are strictly going to make a character from this booklet, and of course, I have the 5th edition, Tunnels and Trolls, currently being shipped in, hopefully by this Sunday or Monday. Obviously, Christmas is in a couple of days, so I might obviously slow down delivery, but let's go to the board and I'll show you the booklet. We'll go through it and then we'll make a character. So here is the booklet. It's in pretty good shape, actually. So this is the front page. This is the back page here. They actually had an app for the game, Flying Buffalo, but unfortunately, the app is no longer on the market. So let's go through the booklet before we make the character sheet. This is the actual character sheet taken from the booklet itself. It's kind of scanned and printed. So I'll move over to stuff here and we'll go through it. So here's the intro page. We got the comic I mentioned, Adventures in Tunnels with Trolls, a couple pages. And then there's the introduction, character sheet, rolling up a character. There's a mention of the triples. When you roll triples, you just roll again and add the result, and it can keep going. So you can have some very high results. Here is your kindred, which are essentially your races, for anyone who's familiar with OSR. Here's your character classes. There's warriors, wizards, and rogues. Here's a very compressed version of combat. Combat is very simple in the basic rules of Tunnels and Trolls. Here's the monster ratings, which is probably one of my favorite components of this game. You can create a monster on the fly with just one number rating, and then a couple of uh, subsets from that. You can decide on the type of die and the amount of combat adds. So essentially, let's say we have a monster rating of 10, that's 2 dice. So divide by 10 plus 1. And 10 will be 5 combat adds. So half of the monster rating is the combat adds on top of their dice roll when they attack your group. We have surprise attacks, protective armor. So here is a some short list of weapons, armor, general supplies. We have characters ready. We have saving roll. Here's the saving roll chart. I will definitely print this out for myself in future videos when I do a one-shot of Tunnels and Trolls. And just more explanation of saving rolls, then magic. And of course, there are a few spells here. Not obviously not the entire crop, but we have enough for this adventure. Remember, this booklet is meant to be played for the adventure that's in here. Here's a character sheet. It's the exact copy of it. And then here are some pre-gen characters with some items, treasure generator. So it definitely gives you enough to start, and then obviously to run through this solo adventure, which Tunnels and Trolls is known for. There are lots of solo modules. Now, I want to clarify, if I'm not mistaken, based on other reviewers on YouTube, Tunnels and Trolls is not a solo game. It has been perceived as one. It just has a great assortment of solo adventures. Just want to clarify that. Again, not a solo game. You can play this with a group, obviously, especially that combat mechanic. That's a very encouraged to. But it's very useful, at least from what I'm seeing here. It's going to be very good for solo play because the rules are very light. But the fact it has a lot of the solo adventures available makes it a valuable asset for solo players and solo RPG enthusiasts. I personally won't be using any of the solo adventures. I'm not really a big fan of solo adventures. I've tried it before. They don't really work out. Solo pre-written adventures, I should clarify, like ones that are like this, an actual sheet with numbered outcomes that you jump to based on your choices and results. But for myself, obviously, Tunnels and Trolls is going to be I hope it's going to be a very great experience for solo play in future videos. So let's go back to the booklet here. And that's the end of the adventure and some advertisement on the at the end. So that's the booklet in whole. Now let's go to the part I'm sure you guys were waiting for and roll up our results. I will roll up in order: strength, constitution, dexterity, speed, luck, IQ, intelligence, obviously wisdom. I'm sorry, wizardry, and a charisma. So you roll 3d6 and you just write the results down. If you roll three sixes, it will obviously be triples, and you roll again. Okay, let's begin. So roll the first one for strength. We have, well, close to triples, but no cigar. So we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so 10 for strength. Next will be for constitution. We have 6, 9, 10, 11. Constitution is also your health. In prior editions of Tunnels and Trolls, strength was used for magic as a mana supply, Dexterity, we got 4, 9, 13. Okay. Speed, 5. So we have 11, 12 for speed. Ooh, pathetic. 5 for luck. That's not good. Luck is usually one you would have would recommend to have far more than that. But I'll keep going here. Then we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for IQ. Now, as it says here, roll it and write the results 8 times on a separate piece of paper. Obviously, I'm not doing that. I may shuffle them around, but just to make this video go fairly smoothly, I'm just going to write them in order, and we'll see what happens. Could be interesting to have low luck, and everything else is pretty average so far. Okay, let's roll. Let's see. Wizardry, we have 5, 6. Okay, that's a prior roll. We're gonna roll again. We have 10, 11 for wizardry. Charisma, we have 11. Okay, so what I'm going to do is swap charisma with luck. There we go. Just felt like doing that. Okay, so now let's jump to the next page here. Choose a kindred, it says. A kindred is a race or species such as human, elves, dwarfs, and so forth. I often do humans in my videos. Let's do elves. So I'll put kindred here, elves. That will give us some modifications. Add 3 to your IQ, wisdom, dexterity, and charisma attribute. Okay. So let's see. IQ gets 3 more, so that's going to be 9, 10, 11. Wizardry, we get 14. And dexterity, we get 16, which is very impressive. Charisma, we get 6, 7, 8. Luckily, we got a little more charisma. Then it says subtract 2 from your con, so that's not good. All other attributes stay the same. Okay, characters also have physical characteristics such as height, weight, color, age. You may choose these from rolling without rolling dice as long as you choose the reasonable game master. I think there's a chart either in here or another booklet. Might be thinking of another, yeah, the 5th edition that's coming in here soon. So we'll leave that blank for now. Let's see, name we'll just call him Steve. Steve the elf. Okay. Character type, I think based on these stats here, I'm definitely going to make him out to be, let's see. Let's have Steve the elf be a wizard. Don't often do wizards, so let's put that in character type. And so the level is based on your highest attribute, the first number. So 1, obviously, is a level 1. Gender, we'll just do male. I know elves can get pretty old in age. So we picked a class. The wizard spellcasters proficient in a theory practice of magic. Once a wizard learns a spell, they know it forever. Spells require energy that comes from wizardry. In prior editions, come from strength. They also require a minimum intelligence and dexterity to master. Note that wizards are perfectly able to wear armor and fight with weapons, but due to their lack of training, they do not get to use their combat adds with any weapon worth more than 2d6. That is good to know. So, if any of their weapons are beyond 2d6, those combat adds do not qualify. I'll have to remember that. So, let's get going here. How to do combat. I think that's combat adds. I know we gotta get to that here in a second. We gotta get our equipment. All right, things are kind of tossed around here, but I know for a fact on the character sheet it says here. So for every point over 12 in strength, luck, dexterity, and speed, it is a combat add. Anything less than 9, it is a minus, which I don't believe we need to worry about, especially since I switched luck with charisma and then we got those mods. So strength has nothing, luck has nothing, dexterity has, let's see, 13, 14, 15, 16, so that's 4. Dexterity and speed is just the same. So we have 4 combat adds. So I'm going to just move that over to the center here and put +4. Let's see. Let's do hair blonde. Age, I'll just do 180. All right. So we have some weapons and armor to choose from. It says you have 250 gold pieces that can be used to buy items. So we'll put this, I like to put it right over here near the items. And then I think that's really it for everything else. There's weight possible and weight carried. So I think weight possible is 10 times your strength. So that's going to be, let's see, I think that's only 100. This doesn't have the weight, so I'm not going to worry about it now, but I believe it's 10 times. I don't recall seeing it in this booklet when reading through. Just want to double check. So saving rolls, learning spells. Yep, don't see it. But anyways, I think that's all right. Recovery, that's good to know. Let's go back to the beginning here. Craft character is almost done. Just gotta get the items. Buy some weapons and some armor, of course. Elves don't have restriction on what type, just based on those combat adds. So I don't see anything about the limitations on weight. So 100 pounds does make sense. Realistically, 100 pounds. I believe that's the correct math for it. I'm recalling from the 5e book itself. So it could be here, but I don't want to waste your guys' time. Feel free to correct me on that. Let's go to the items, just buy it from there. I'll do weight possible 100, but again, these don't have the weight estimates. So let's see here. Let's buy a weapon first. I'll do a short sword, which is a 3d6, which means it does not qualify for the combat adds. So I'll put a note here, no adds above 2d6. Go. And that's 35 gold. So that's 35 and 432, so 215. All right. And then let's buy some armor. We'll do studded. Oh, I cannot. I probably can afford studded leather. So yeah, we'll do studded leather. And that's basically the amount of hits it can take. That it soaks per attack when it gets attacked. And that puts us down to 130, so it'll be 115, and then 80, whoops, 85, 85. All right, and then the rest is just items. There are not a lot of items here, general supplies. I think for now we're good. So I'll leave off with the 85 gold pieces. I will be using this character in a future video. I'm going to make one before recording if I ever do a one shot. Whenever I get to the one shot, this is just kind of for test purposes. Let's make him extremely tall. He's 8'9", and he's over 500 pounds. Just to make some people laugh and watching the videos. There we go, 500 pounds. Um, so this will be him here. He has his short sword like that, and he's an elf. So give him some ears here. He's got long Fabio hair. There we go. That is our masterpiece drawing right there. And that is, I believe, it for character creation using this much compressed TNT Adventures Japan mini rules based on, apparently from Japan, based on the deluxe edition Tunnels and Trolls, which is like a 400-page booklet. So this character here is Steve the Elf. And that's really it. He's super tall. He's a mutant, and he's 500 pounds. He's working on it, as I am myself. So there you go. That's really it. Just a very quick, simple video showcasing the booklet, which I'm happy to finally have in my possession, and a stupid character sheet of Steve the Elf. So here's what I'm thinking for anybody who's curious what my next one shot will be. Obviously, I'll be using Tunnels and Trolls 5th edition. I want to play in that era, the nostalgia, and experience the nostalgia of 5e, which was the longest known version of Tunnels and Trolls. I think 5e came out in the very late 70s. It went through like four versions, up to five versions since its release in 1970, mid 70s. So that's a lot of like additions within 5 years or so. So, but 5e was stayed the same up to about past the 2000s, mid 2000s, late. I don't really recall, but essentially in the recent 15 years. But anyways, I'm going to make a new character, probably a party, because again, the this game is it seems like it can be deadly depending on how the combat goes. But what I want to do is make a party of the usual gang, probably three of them, one in each of those classes. Different kindred, we'll see how that goes. I'll make the characters. I'm going to go through the 5e book. I have it on my tablet here, but I want to get the actual physical copy very soon. Think of a simple one shot and just have some fun. Make it very comedic, over the top, cliche. Just have some fun with it. Nothing like deep or like philosophical or plot twisty. Just have it be really simple. The party's going to go to a goblin bandit camp and rescue some stolen chickens from a farmer's coop. I don't know, something really stupid like that. Just to test out the game, because this will be my really first attempt at playing. So I know the basics of the game. I've listened to quite a few videos. There are a handful of videos on YouTube I recommend watching. I, of course, have been watching. There is a little uh, series from a Random Encounter show led by Deathstalker 5, one of my favorite channels out there. I highly recommend listening to his content. He actually interviewed, I think, someone prominent in the Tunnels and Trolls team from Flying Buffalo. I believe the creator of someone. I didn't watch the video yet, but it's like the fourth or fifth video in the series. I'll put the link down below, actually, just 'cause I'm blabbering about it. But interviews someone from the Flying Buffalo or someone very prominent in the Tunnels and Trolls lore. So check that out. But basically, he talks about the game in a full hour plus per video, so it's not edited. It's much like mine. He goes through the entire booklet of the deluxe edition. But again, I was inspired by it to go try the 5th edition, because the prices were actually a little cheaper, at least from what I recall. So that's where I've been learning the game. Also been going through the book on my PDF copy. but it really helps to listen to somebody who has played the game with knowledge and with experience and hear how they interpret the game. But again, at the end of the day, Tunnels and Trolls is a very rules light system, but can offer some optional rules. And based on what the random encounter show Deathstalker 5 mentions, you can take things out or keep things in as you wish. If you don't want to use the magic system, you can entirely replace it with your own. If you don't want to use magic at all, which I was tempted, I would just keep it grounded, low fantasy, I guess no fantasy or to an extent no magic, then you could do so also. But there are optional rules. There's extended combat. There are additional advanced rules for going beyond the usual. But you can get away with the basics in a one shot. So again, it's very exciting. This game has I've been down this rabbit hole for Thousand Trolls for the past couple weeks now. And the fact I have something in the material form is just very satisfying. So thank you as always for watching. Please subscribe, comment, share, and thumbs up, and whatever else you want to do, and take part in the discussion. As I always say, try to say, please comment, and I will do my best to reply in a timely fashion. So that's it for now. Hopefully, the next video or the next few episodes following will be the Tunnels and Trolls 5e edition, so the 5th edition copy. All right, guys, have a great holiday, and I'll see you next time.